Okay, this is going to be a very quick review on everything you learned in 8th grade about linear functions. You also learned it in Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry. So we're going to start with the basics. Slope. How do you find slope? Well, I subtract my y values over my x values, otherwise you rise over your run. Make sure you use your first coordinates first or your first coordinates last at the same. So my slope for this one is going to be 0 minus 1 over negative 2 minus 3. So this is what I was labeling my x1, y1, my x2, my y2. And this is going to give me, oh, I went the other way. I did 1 minus 2. It doesn't matter which way you go, as long as you go the same way. Negative 1 over negative 5, which reduces to 1/5. Slopes can be positive. They're going a line going uphill. A negative would be going downhill. A zero slope would be a horizontal line. An undefined slope would be a vertical line. A very common way to find the equation of a line is using point-slope form. That's where you're given a point and a slope. Find the equation of the line that passes through the point. So here's my x1, my y1, and has a slope of 3. So there's my m. So I'm going to do y minus negative 2 equals my m of 3 times x minus 1. So this is y plus 2 equals 3x, or 3 parentheses x minus 1. Point slope form, you do want to leave this factored out so it's easy to identify your slope. Slope-intercept form is the other form you're familiar with. Y equals mx plus b. M is your slope, b is your y-intercept. Determine the slope and y-intercept of this line. Well, first I have to get it into this form. So I'm going to subtract an x. So I get y equals negative x plus 2. Notice I put my x term first. So my slope comes from my number with x, so my slope of negative 1. Number standing alone, or my constant, is my y-intercept, we call b, which is 2. Below is a summary table for the different forms a line can take. The only one we haven't talked about is the general form. That's when you want your x term, your y term, your constant, all on the left side equal to 0. A vertical line is always x equals a number. Horizontal line is always y equals a number. And of course, slope-intercept form and point-slope form. Parallel and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal. That means change the sign and flip it. So if I want to find the slope-intercept form of an equation of the line that passes through the point, so there's a good point, parallel to the line 2x minus 3y equals 5. The only thing I need to get from this line right here is slope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in slope-intercept form. I'm going to get y by itself. Subtract 2x, negative 3y equals negative 2x plus 5. Divide by negative 3. Y equals 2/3 x minus 5/3. This is the only piece of information I need from it. And I need to keep it exactly the same because I want parallel lines. So I know I've got this point, 2, negative 1, and a slope of 2/3. I've got a point and a slope. I can easily put this into point-slope form. Y minus my y-coordinate equals m times x minus my x-coordinate. Y plus 1 equals 2/3 times x minus 2. Find the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line that passes through the point 2, negative 1 and is perpendicular to the line. Again, the only thing we need from this line is that its slope is 2/3. That was the same as the previous problem. The slope of the line I'm going to make has to be the opposite reciprocal. So it has to be change the sign to a negative and flip it over. So I've got point and slope. I'm going to put it into point-slope form again, and this time I'm actually going to put it into slope-intercept form. So y minus my y-coordinate equals m times x minus my x-coordinate. So y plus 1 equals negative 3/2 times x minus 2. Since the question is wanting me to put it into slope-intercept form, I've got to get y by itself, do some distributing, and simplify. Y equals negative 3/2 x plus 3, I'm distributing, minus 1. So final answer would be y equals negative 3/2 x plus